YouTube. In this video, we're doing a recap over the event of UFC 311 that happened just yesterday, this Saturday. In this one, the main event was against Islam Makhachev and Renato Moicano. I'm going to be breaking down and doing a recap of the whole thing. So first, I'm going to talk about the matches that happened in the beginning of the event till the very end. I'm also going to go ahead and talk about how in the future with these bets, we're going to be a lot smarter and have a new game plan with every bet and analysis that we look into. The first fight of the card was against Tagir Ulanbekov and Clayton Carpenter. On that one, I predicted that Tagir Ulanbekov wins via decision, and that is what happened. I said that he could get a finish, and he was close to getting a finish as he was hitting them with ground and pound with elbows. He tagged him a few times on the feet, but all in all, Clayton Carpenter showed that he is a very good prospect in the UFC. He was only 8-0 when he fought him, and Tagir Ulanbekov was already 16-2. So that shows that he put up a competitive fight against someone like Tagir Ulanbekov that is already ranked in the UFC. He shows to be a good prospect, and I expect Clayton Carpenter to have a good UFC career and to show improvements as he already has and looked very aggressive in this matchup. The next one was against next fight had Ricky Turcio and Sopaj. And this one, I will say, they're both not the best fighters. They're both kind of middle of the pack. Sopaj did show to be the more technical guy. Ricky Turcio showed that he has heart and a lot of cardio and resistance, but he doesn't have enough skills to be a good fighter in the future in the UFC. And that is why Sopaj was able to beat him by a decision. Sopaj, we shouldn't overhype him because just the fight before, Vinicius Oliveira was literally playing and toying with him, was trying out things. So let's not overhype Sopaj too much. Let's see how he looks in the future. But I do think he's a UFC caliber fighter, and let's see how he does and how the UFC matches him up. He's a younger guy, so he does have a good future going forward. Ricky Turcio is just not impressive at all. He hasn't gotten better. He's been in the UFC for a while. He was in the Ultimate Fighter, so we're gonna keep fading him in the future if he is still fighting in the UFC. The next fight was Eileen Perez against Carol Rosa. In this one, I got the prediction correct that Eileen Perez would win via decision. She was the underdog, but she just came out and had the better had the better grappling, had the better wrestling, took control of the fight, was able to take down Carol Rosa like 2 to 3 times that fight, and that is why she didn't look the best in the striking, but that is why she got to come away with the victory. She does look overhyped and a little not too good on the feet, I will say. She doesn't look like she's good on the feet. I predicted her to win and to win by decision because Carol Rosa struggles with those aggressive wrestlers, and that's exactly what she is. She's a wrestler. She's aggressive. She's after you. But now that Carol Rosa, she beat Carol Rosa, and Carol Rosa was a ranked fighter. Look for Eileen Perez to have fights against much harder opponents, more complete fighters that are really going to be able to defend a takedown better and going to challenge her on the feet. She hasn't shown to make the improvements necessary to keep winning at the top and be consistent, but let's see how she looks in her next fight. I actually made a video saying that she is one of the more overhyped prospects currently in the UFC, but let's see how exactly her career unrolls. I just don't think she's that good. She does have a lot of heat and a lot of fans and tempo behind her, because of her antics, but let's see how she does. The next fight was between Ryan Nakamura and Moin Gafarov. In this one, I predicted that Nakamura would win by decision. Nakamura has shown now that the dude is very timid. He's still a good prospect for the future, but he is not aggressive enough. He doesn't have that dog in him. That's definitely what he showed in that fight. He didn't want to be aggressive and engage in the wrestling, which was his best weapon. He only went for one takedown that fight, so Moin Gafarov shocked everybody, huge underdog, and knocked him loose, knocked his head loose, clubbed him a few times. Could have gone for the ground and pound finish, but he decided to do the stand-up fight because Nakamura is a very good wrestler. Came in 9-0, was a huge favorite. But Gafarov came in there, dropped him multiple times, boxed him up, defended the takedown, and was the more aggressive fighter and won the decision. This fight lets me know in the future to never put my eggs in one basket, never overvalue a fighter no matter what. Never overvalue a fighter, Nakamura was minus 700 to win by decision. He was an even line. I actually bet Nakamura to win by decision, But if I would have bet Gafarov to win by decision, I said in my prediction video that he has all the tools. He's just not smart. But this time he won because he fought a smart fight, So fighters can come into their own. It's always good to bet something both ways, because if I would have bet Gafarov by decision was plus like 700-800, even if I would have lost that original bet of $100, I would have won $700-800. So it's always good to bet both sides and never put your eggs in one basket. So we're going to be making a lot of money that way. This is an analysis. I'm coming in a humble matter because I did very good in this card starting out, but towards the end in the main card, I didn't predict it well, It just didn't go as planned. But it was because I put a lot of confidence into these fighters, which I will never do now going forward in all UFC events. I will always look at a path to victory on both sides and look at these props very closely, because I see that the props are always very inflated, Gafarov to win by decision at like plus 800 was insane, and that was a crazy hit, Another fight, and the next fight in the card was against Zach Reese and the guy Azmat Bakoyev, I believe. Azmat Bakoyev came in there, got Zach Reeves out of there quick. I predicted that Azmat would win that fight. He could either finish him, he could either win by decision, but he got Zach Reeves out of there quick. Zach Reeves has just shown he's not UFC caliber. So now that the UFC knows he's not UFC caliber and his record is 8-2, look for Zach Reeves to get fed some very tough fights. We're going to be fading him in the future. This guy came in 3-4 days notice and knocked Zach Reeves out by ground and pound within the first round, So that says something about the guy, but also it says something about Zach Reeves, because he had a full training camp to train for this fight, and the dude is just a fucking fraud and a bum. He's not that good, but yes, Azmat, I'm happy that he's in the UFC now. I predicted that he would win. He's very deep into his career in his prime, so I'm looking forward to seeing him fight. Got a first round finish, hopefully he got a bonus. He got paid and made some money. Another fight in the prelims was Bogdan against Elenka. Elenka came in short notice. Bogdan was supposed to fight Johnny Walker. I predicted that Bogdan would finish this guy. I thought it would be by knockout, but he ended up finishing him by submission. He was beating the hell out of him. The ref didn't want to stop the fight. The dude was doing nothing on his knees. He came in on a short notice fight, way less experience, only 7-1, so I knew he would get finished. and that's basically what happened. The guy Bogdan literally had to choke him out because the ref didn't want to stop the fight. It's insane how sometimes you have the odds, or sometimes you have the fight that the referees are so quick to stop it, and then the other times the referees don't want to fucking stop this fight, and it's just crazy. You know, the guy was getting beat the hell out of. He wasn't ready. He didn't want to fight, and the guy had to literally get behind him and do this, so the referee will stop it. It's insane. Next fight was with Raoni Barcelos and Peyton Talbert. I made a video. If you guys watched that video, I did make a video saying Peyton Talbert is one of the most overrated fighters out there. One of the most overrated prospects. And he showed just that. I personally picked him to win by decision. And this is another situation where I would say if someone's such a heavy favorite, just bet at least the opponent's path to victory. Even if it might not be likely to happen. But do it. Because a lot of times the odds are so juiced that it is more likely to happen than you actually think. In this one, Raoni Barcelos just came out and showed Peyton Talbert that he's way ahead of him, has way more experience. I said Peyton Talbert would have a tough fight, and this would be the toughest fight of his career because Peyton Talbert came in only being 9-0, and Raoni Barcelos is 37 years old. I thought he would lose the fight because of the age difference. Barcelo is 37 years old and is still in great physical shape, you know. So he gave him a hell of a fight. He won the fight. He beat him up on the feet. He controlled him on the ground. He definitely won that decision, and the UFC could not rob Raoni Barcelo out of that win. It was a definite win, and I'm happy for him. He got paid. The show moves on. Talbot literally got fraud checked, and it is what it is. UFC will still be looking to protect him. They wanted to give him an easy fight because Barcelo, they've kept him not as active. They've given him really hard opponents, and Barcelo is now 37 years old. But I did say that at one point in my prediction video, at one point, Barcelo was a 16-1 fighter. So he is an excellent fighter, and he showed that in this fight. Props to him. I had a viewer that said they actually betted Barcelos to win, and I'm happy that he cashed that bet, man. There was some live underdogs, and I'm happy you guys cashed that bet. We're going to be on the underdogs very heavy this year. We got to make money. We're going to take this very humble, analyze everything, and move forward. So look forward to the videos. Another fight, which was actually before this one, is between Grant Dawson and Diego Ferreira. I predicted that Grant Dawson would win by decision in my video, and he did just that because I just knew that Diego Ferreira has the better all-around tools, is a better all-around fighter, but Diego Ferreira came in there as a 40-year-old fighter. I'm happy that Diego Ferreira did not get finished, and all Grant Dawson could do was control him. That's really all he did throughout the fight. He did land the better shots. He got control of the fight, so that's why he won that decision. But it wasn't the most impressive win because it wasn't like he got Ferreira out of there. He really just controlled him. Let's see how Grant Dawson looks in the future. He is still a great fighter because he has amazing grappling and wrestling, really good control, really good cardio. And let's see how Diego Ferreira does in the future because he does still look like a healthy fighter even though he is 40 years old. So live on, Diego Ferreira. Another fight, man, that really made me upset going into this main card is Kevin Holland and Renier de Ridder. Kevin Holland is the definition. If you're watching this far, guys, this is really how I feel about Kevin Holland. He is the definition of a fucking clown, man. He's a fucking idiot. I'm sorry for the language, but Kevin Holland came out and talked all this trash. I'm not going to lie. I was confident that Kevin Holland would win. Even though I did say in the video, you can't really be too heavy on a guy like him because you don't know what to expect from this guy. One fight, he's going to fight hard. Fucking 8 out of 10 fights, he fights like he doesn't want to be there. He just wants to talk and play around, you know. And that is why he got finished early in the first round within like a minute and 30 seconds, 2 minutes. Kevin Holland got choked out. Dude, if you don't want to fight, man, don't get in there. I know you just want to be a celebrity and just talk crazy and just say you're going to do all these things. He went on the Rampage Jackson show, was talking all this smack. He was talking all this smack in the press conference before the fight, saying he wanted to fight and play with him for 14 minutes and knock him out in the last minute. He was too confident, man, and Radir, at the end of the day, just took him down, didn't even let Holland land any damage, didn't play into Holland's bullshit, and Holland just rolled over and gave the choke. He didn't even defend the choke. He didn't do much, man. He just didn't want to be there. Holland got his back taken as a jiu-jitsu black belt. I do want to know, by the way, where you got your black belt at, brother. If you could let me know who's your trainer so I could smack the hell out of him. How the hell you got a black belt, brother? You get tapped out within a minute, 30 seconds, man. Black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He literally gave up his back, gave up the position, and Rainier got a rear naked choke on him. He didn't fight the submission. Nope, he just tapped. Within a minute and 30 seconds, the fight was over. Big disappointment. I cannot ever get behind Kevin Holland. He does have knockout power, but that is about it. The guy is just... sadly, he's a weirdo, man, because he goes in there. He obviously has the skills to win fights, but he goes in there and just doesn't want to be in the fight. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. It's crazy. The next fight was with Jamal Hill and Yuri Prochazka. Jamal Hill is another big clown. If you're watching this far, now you know how I feel about Jamal Hill. He is another huge clown, man. He came in, he's talked all this smack about how Alex Pereira got a cheap shot on him, that he wants a rematch, that he's just so good, he's going to be a champion. He went to Alex Pereira's gym, tried to confront him. When Alex Pereira wanted to fucking fight him and told him, let's go right now, he didn't want to do nothing. Jamal Hill, dude, you're a weirdo for that, man. You, at the end, in the third round, you started off good, but you just started gassing out, man. Yuri took it to you. I thought you would win. I got behind you. I did bet on you, brother. But, man, I cannot get behind you anymore because you've shown now you have cardio deficiency, man. I saw you had a big belly coming into it. You didn't look good. Yuri looked very strong, very agile, kept his hands up. I said that was the main thing. Yuri had to keep his hands up and he could win the fight. But I personally thought Jamal Hill would get him out of there and win because he showed before to be a technical fighter. But in this one, he just was looking sloppy towards the end because he just got tired, It is what it is. With the next fight, we got Umar Nurmagomedov and Merab Dvalishvili. Umar Nurmagomedov, he didn't get exposed. He fought a good fight, but Merab just has a tenacious kind of style that could get anyone tired. Umar Nurmagomedov once again showed that he has great technique, very good fighter, very complete fighter. It's just Merab's cardio made him gas towards the end, and he just couldn't defend as well as he was doing at the beginning of the fight. Merab now this guy's a machine, man. He's been a machine. He's in his prime. I personally thought Umar would win the fight just because he's shown to be so technical and so complete, but Merab's kind of fighting style and way of being, so much aggressiveness, so much force, but also controlled aggressiveness, made him be so hard once again to contain. Merab shot for literally 30 takedowns, got like 7 of them. He's just crazy, man. He doesn't get tired. All 5 rounds, it doesn't matter. So, hey, great performance. Let's see who he fights moving forward, but I don't know who could beat this guy right now. Next fight was the main event, Islam Makhachev against Renato Moicano. Renato Moicano stepped in there, short notice, like 2-3 days notice, 1 day notice. And he's shown to have heart, man, but Islam just complete guy. Just went in there, took care of business, finished him. I thought Islam would knock him out because those are the ways that Ronaldo Moicano has lost before, and he's shown to have some deficiencies in the chin. Islam hurt him, took him down, choked him out. Islam's just shown he's just levels above a lot of these guys. He's still in his prime. He's still young. I don't think anybody in that division beats Islam. The only person, or the only way I think Islam loses is if he chooses to go to welterweight with a lot bigger guys. Someone like a Shavkat Rakhmonov. But I don't think Islam loses to just anybody. Ilya Tapora could not beat Islam. He's just talking, but he's not going to beat Islam at all. Islam goes in there and takes care of business. Complete professional. I'm looking forward to all these next UFC events. If you're still here, we're going to be making some money. This event definitely taught me to not overvalue fighters. You know, I already made a video about the more overvalued and overhyped fighters. And Peyton Talbot was someone that was in there and he lost, you know. This shows me to not get behind fully on all fighters, you know, not have all my eggs in one basket. Bet the other method of victory because it's very, you know, more than likely it could happen. There's always a chance. It's a fight. You never know. So here in these next few picks that I'm going to be giving next few days, be on the lookout for very thorough analysis and different methods and props that you could use to make money no matter what. Let's see what happens, guys. We're still going strong, making great predictions, and thank you so much for the support.